Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So today's video is going to be fairly short because it's a video on something I cannot believe is actually happening, and people are getting away with it. So now what people are getting away with is that they're actually saying that the Nashville shooter is a victim. And this person, who was a woman pretending to be a guy, is now the victim on something that she went out of her way to do. She killed 3 kids. She dispatched 3 adults. With that being said, guys, it's amazing how now all of a sudden this person became the victim. The trans community, at least the younger trans community, not the older, but the younger trans community, is all up in arms that 1, she was shot, 2, that the media keeps misgendering her, because that's a real fucking thing, and that she did it because she was tired of being picked on. Now, keep in mind, nobody knows at that point in time why she did it. They clearly didn't understand why she did it. She had psych issues. There's something to be said about anybody who goes on a mass shooting, guys. You have psych issues. I don't care whether you're a white dude, a black dude, transgender. You have psychological issues if you're sitting there just shooting people because you're like, you know what, fuck it, I had enough. Had enough of what? Why can't these people go to, I don't know, a political opponent's house and pull this bullshit off? Or a political arena, if you will, and pull this shit off. They go right after the fucking kids and the and adults. Now, there could be some kind of psych op with this, because there was an interesting story that came out about the female, and I cannot remember clearly what it was, but it had something to do with her and firearms, her being adopted, and her again, there was a weird connection. So with that being said, this just felt off. Now, again, guys, the trans community trying to play the victim card now. Now they're trying to play the victim card all the way through. And the worst part about it is you have their allies talking about, well, this is, they're under attack and they need to protect themselves. I'm like, wait a second. This savage shot kids, dispatched adults, and somehow she's the victim. The liberal, woke, democratic society is eating itself up. I mean, listen, the Democratic Party's eating itself up so badly. You have Democrats leaving to become Republicans, right? So that speaks volumes. But it still doesn't stop the fact that other Democrats are sitting on national TV, like that lesbian chick, the Speaker of the House, the fucking black chick, sits there and goes, they're victims of violence. Where? Where would... I mean, transgender people have been killed in the past because they were transgender. That has happened. But if you look into a lot of those stories, they were killed and or beaten up because, well, they tricked or played a person that they were dating, the guy that they were dating. The guy they were dating thought it was a legitimate chick. They get out to, they go on a date, they get back home, dude whips out a dick, it turns into Crying Game Part 2. So, with that being said, a lot of those dudes weren't having it. They were like, this is bullshit, and then they went off, and they did what they did. So you have to put some context to that story. Now, I'm not saying what they did was right, but I understand. So, and if listen, if the transgender thing is your thing, it's your thing. And if you are transgender and you're dating a dude, you got to tell the dude straight out of the gates, hey, I got a dick. And let the guy decide from there. Don't wait till you guys get hot and heavy, start making out, and then Mr. Winky pops out of your fucking skirt. That's bullshit. You got to fucking let the dude know ahead of time and let him make that decision. Probably 9 times out of 10, not 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, the guy will say no. He'll be like, no. And on that 10th time, you'll meet that one guy, the freak, and be like, oh, I'll give it a shot. But you still got to give him you got to give him some leeway. You can't just fucking pop Mr. Winky out in the middle of a makeout session thinking the guy's going to be okay with it. That's one. 2, the victim card. The trans community is playing this victim card hard. They are actually saying now Because this is again where I lost my respect for the trans community a while ago when they made a comparison about them being treated worse than blacks and or slaves. When they said that, it was off to the races. I was like, fuck those dudes, fuck them and their bullshit, fuck their trickery, and the whole 9 yards. I was just done. At one point, because you live in the city, you see it all the time, and listen, you see it enough. It's like an everyday thing. But now when you see it, and the crazy thing is, back in the days, you barely noticed it because some dudes look that good. They look like women. You wouldn't be able to tell. But now you got guys walking around with goatees looking like fucking Mr. T with a skirt on. Not a good look, dude. So when you grow up in a city like that, you see gays, you see trans, you're used to it. But when you start pushing the narrative that I have to like you or I have to date you, and if I don't date you, I'm transphobic. If I don't side with you, I'm homophobic. If I don't side with you, I'm transphobic. That if I don't agree with the fact that you were treated worse than blacks, I'm transphobic. They love to throw that word out there. And if you don't stand by the shooter, you're transphobic. That's where we are in today's society. And these people, they have psychological issues. Like I said before, I'll say it again, guys. We used to keep the psych patients under the fucking stairs or in the attic. Then we built a nice little facility for them, and we called it Shady Acres. And we started putting them in there. They started getting treated badly. Then we threw them in the trunk of the car because like, you know what, fuck it. Let them stay there. Somehow between the trunk of the car, they ended up in the front with the keys driving the fucking country. And here we are in Looneyville because we let psych patients drive now instead of keeping them in the fucking trunk or under the stairs or in the attic. It's our fault. It's because we gave them too much. We told these people, you know what? We're hearing you, we're listening to you, and you deserve equality. Crazy people do not deserve equality. I'm fucking sorry. It's not working. When people are like, well, give it a chance to see where it goes. Look where it went. Crazy fuckingville. This is where we are. Because we let them fucking have equal rights. They don't deserve equal rights, guys. They deserve to be in a fucking insane asylum. The only equal rights they deserve is not to get beat up, raped, mistreated. They don't need to be starved out. That's the shit that that they don't deserve. They don't deserve to be treated badly. But to sit there and say they have the same equal rights as a regular person, no, the fuck they don't. Because this is what happens when you give people their equality. You let them run off to the races, and now they're fucking acting like savages and saying dumb shit like, I want to eat a baby's fetus, or I have my period, or I back the trans shooter. These are the crazy things that are being said now because we allowed crazy people to fucking have a platform. It's called fucking YouTube and a phone and Instagram. Or TikTok, which is even worse. So, yeah, guys. Welcome to fucking Crazyville. Anyway, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.